Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to do a couple different things here, and some are going to turn out and some aren't. Those are those little embossing rollers that give you image onto your polymer clay. We're going to make some earrings, and I'm going to use some foil. I'm going to use the Sculpey 3, which a lot of people have negative comments about. I think going forward, after I've seen how it works like 50% of the time. Other times it's very fragile. So I'm not sure what their issues are. I think what I've read is that they think it's too soft to work with. And I'm such a novice that I'm not sure if that's a bad thing or a good thing. So I think I will work with some other clay going forward. But right now I have all of this, and I'm going to learn and experiment using this instead of changing it up. I'm not going to waste any of this. Now, these foil sheets I got at Temu, and they come in full sheets. But because I'm going to like crackle this foil, I don't need a full sheet. I'm going to save that for other projects that will make this useful. So I bought 2 different packs, different kinds of the sheet foils. Now I have these jars of little like flakes of foil, and I have it in rose gold, gold, and the silver. And the foil that you use for this kind of project, it's really thin. It's different than aluminum foil that you would have in your drawer in the kitchen. And it just sticks straight to the clay. So you want to use your finger just to press it down into it. Look how it just smooths out. It's really kind of cool how it works out. So I did learn a lot from doing this project, and you're going to see going forward, and I'll talk all about it. I hope you'll stay and watch. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying what I'm doing here. I have a lot of crafting in me, and things that I know, things that I don't know. I try all kinds of mediums, all kinds of different craft projects. I'm not closed down to doing anything. So this you just pick up with like little tweezers. You want to make sure it's a single layer, and you just start laying it over your clay. And we're going to use polymer clay cutters. There's all different kinds. They come in plastic, metal. They have the push out kind. You're going to see that all on this video, all different techniques. I tried a bunch of different things. I've been like binging a bunch of tutorials and learning, and so much I want to do. And I know as I do it, just like anything, the more you do it, the more efficient and proficient you become in using these different mediums and techniques. And I want to get there because I am in love with polymer clay. I can't tell you enough about it. And I hope that this will make you interested in trying it. And if not, I hope you enjoy watching this video. And if you do, don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you leave. And if you haven't subscribed, I am growing this channel. You guys are growing this channel, and I would love to invite you to subscribe. It's totally free. Subscriptions to YouTube channels are free. It just helps that if you want to follow a channel, you fill in the bell to be notified when new videos go up. So as you can see, I'm placing foil just randomly on this white Sculpey 3 polymer clay that I had already conditioned. And by conditioning, they mean like you've worked it, you've softened it, you flattened it. And there's different ways. You can use a roller to flatten it. You can use what looks like a pasta, and everybody refers to as a pasta press, and you just kind of roll it through there. I like it. I have one. I think I got it off of Temu. Right now they're around $25. You can pay a lot more elsewhere, but the Temu one works fine for me, so I'm not complaining. And you just want to make sure you clean that pasta press out before you go and use a white, because if you used a color polymer clay through it, there could be remnants in there. And so I use baby wipes. I put a little alcohol wipe on, a little extra alcohol on it, and I run it through my pasta press. I don't know if other people do it. That's just what I found that worked for me, and it keeps it nice and sparkling clean. And so I'm just going to place some more on here. I can't wait. You know what? I can't wait to try the rose gold foils that I have, but we'll do that in an upcoming video. So I'm not even sure at this point what I'm going to do, but I love these texture rollers. They came, it was a freebie that I won off of one of the Temu games. Now, I mentioned Temu a lot because that is right now where I'm buying a lot of my craft supplies if I didn't already have them for years before. So, and I do have another channel, Favorites with Laura. Some of you might know me from over there. I do a lot of hauls and reviews on that channel. I hope to do some crafting reviews here. And I also have a big crafting supply order, which, you know, if you're interested in me hauling it on this channel to show you my craft supplies when they do come in from Temu, I'll be happy to do that on this channel. I just think I'm not sure how to post to both channels without getting copyright. I mean, I'm the owner of both channels. If anybody knows that, put a comment down below and let me know the ins and outs of doing something like that if you do have multiple channels. So I put that on there, and because I didn't use a full sheet, so I just like spread it out with those flakes, you're going to see why it doesn't matter, because when I press this, it presses the polymer clay out and it gives this crackled effect with the embossed image that is on the roller. So it's really a cool technique. Okay, so I'm picking up one of the embossed rollers to impress a image that's half on just the polymer clay and the other half will go on to the foiled side. And you're going to see how really cool this works. I kind of have to loosen it up from the ground. Now it's kind of awkward the way I look like I'm rolling it because of the camera and the angle of the clay, but you can see the image there, how it's putting, you want to put a lot of even pressure. And you can see the foiled part has that image on it now. It's really, really, really cool. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to show you. My hand's blocking it right now, but it does lift up. I use these plastic cutters that came in sets, multiple sizes. So this is, I think, like the medium-sized one. And it's just a little stuck. I do get better at this, by the way, so there is hope for everyone out there. It gets better the more you do it, the more you use those cutters, and just like finesse it. You just have to have like a little, I don't know, soft touch. Now I'm going to use this larger sized one on just the white portion of the clay, and it's going to come up here in a second. And I'm going to layer this. Now, a couple of things. You're going to see how this comes out in the very end. But this was such a cute and actually a very fun idea that I came up with. But a couple of things I learned. And one is to make sure your edges are nice and smooth before you attach these two layers. Two, I would make sure you've done everything to the first layer that you want to before you attach. Now they will stick and bake together, and that will work just fine because it's both clay on clay. And so I kind of like kind of tilt the top flower there. And I was going to make like a pendant and earrings with this. And I just thought it looked really cute. I probably next time would have like colorized the back one or put some kind of something else to it. And I definitely would put my holes in. I think I might have done on this set before, but maybe not. And that's where I found that this clay kind of failed me, trying to drill the hole into this clay after it's baked, which you can do on most clays and most projects, but when it's baked, it becomes more fragile, just like a ceramic piece of pottery. It is clay, and so I did crack some at the end. You'll have to wait and see. Oh, I do. So here's my little best thing I purchased was this variety set of little circles that you can use to cut out your holes and make all your sections for your earrings and findings for what you're going to attach later on if you're going to make earrings dangling or a pendant or something like that. So I'm going to use, here I'm placing this little circle that I had cut out with one of the little cutters there, and just press it in there so it adheres and bake that all together. I really did make some errors on this, and you'll see, but just really I should have baked them individually and then attached them with polymer adhesive later on, which by the way, Joann's going out of sale at out of business sale, and they had some there, and it was a little discounted, but not much, but I did save some money buying it right then and there, so I do have some of that. Hopefully their prices are going to come down as they get closer to shutting their doors, which is very sad because our Joann is closer than running anywhere else. Anyway, so not anymore. Okay, so I just kind of fast forwarded to, I made the second, what I was hoping would be an earring. Now I'm going to pull out the next larger size and make like a pendant to go with this set. And it's the same process. I cut out one of the plain polymer clay with the embossed image onto it, and then I'll cut out one in the silver as well. Yeah, so here we are, just cutting them out. I kind of fast forward, but it's the same process. So, but you can see the outer one is of the larger size, and the inner one that I'm going to cut out in the white will be the same size as those other ones, just like smaller than this larger one, if that makes sense. They're just different sizes, and then I put them together the same way. And there you go. They're going to go into the oven. I use parchment paper. I'm hoping to get a ceramic tile soon. So I'm going to put some micro powder. It's this like marine blue that's on here. It's it's like a mermaid blue, I think. And it's so pretty and sparkly. It gives a shimmer. I love working with these. You can colorize polymer clay with a lot of different ways to do it with a lot of different products, but this is what I'm using, and in the future I'll probably be trying different things. You can also buy your polymer clay already colorized. So now I'm going to condition it and blend it all in by rolling it. I'm going to put it through the pasta maker, and after I worked it and ran it through the pasta maker, it combined the colors really nicely, gave it a nice shimmer. I will move this clay up higher into frame so you can see it better, but I'm going to do the foil method again on here, and there you go. And so because I just love this like Tiffany blue it came out, or I don't know what color blue you're going to call it. It's not really a blue green, but it's a super pretty light blue, and the silver looks striking against it. Okay, so we have our foil on there, and I'm sorry about the cup of water there. I moved that out of the way in a little bit. Now I'm going to use one of these texturized plastic sheets that I bought from Temu, and I love this one. It kind of has like I don't know, kind of like a scale on a lizard, or it could be I don't know, it just gave this like wavy waffle look to it. That's it, the waffle look. And you roll it across, applying even pressure, but you don't want to press it too hard that you are spreading out and making your polymer clay thinner. I don't want it too thin. And so here is the texture. It showed up really well. I really liked it. And I'm using these plastic polymer clay cutters for earring drops. There we go. I finally got the water out of the way. I'm so sorry, everyone. And these are going to be, I think, really pretty drop earrings. When you see the finished product, I hope you'll like it, because I like the color combo and the way it came out. But it's really up to you guys what you think, and let me know. And I like the little texture, just gives it more dimension. There's so much going on with it, with the foil. The blue is gorgeous, and then the texture of the waffle. Now I'm cutting out extras. I just want to have some extras, and as much as the clay will allow me to cut out for what I've already done here, I'm making, because if a set turns out great, I wanted to have another set, but also an extra just in case something broke, it didn't work out right. I want after I finish them up and bake them, I'll look at them and see which two go the best together and complement each other with the way the foil is randomly placed on there. So, okay, so I took the rest of the blue, scrunched it up, rolled it out again, added some more flakes of this silver because I love it. And I have this little tile cutter. It looks just like a tile when it's done. It has like this impression on it, kind of like you would lay in an Italian floor or on a countertop. So it has a lot of it's just this unique. I just like the way it cut, and I didn't expect it to look as cute as it is. Now when I'm using my roller on here, you can see how it's crackling in the foil and splitting it up a little bit, because I wanted the pieces a little smaller since this is a smaller tile that or cutter that I'm using. And so I'm going to cut out several pieces. I think I'll make a earring and a pendant set with this. And so I'm zoomed in a little bit so you can actually see the image onto that little tile piece. And then I'm just kind of like pushing it in so it's kind of got distorted a little bit when I pulled it out. And you'll have that sometimes, but these are homemade items. So I actually ended up cutting out 4 pieces, which worked out okay. Because one did end up cracking, and I was able to make a set of earrings and a pendant. And look at my clay is cutting right where I'm able to just cut it. It came out of the cutter just fine, and all I have to do is just use my little stainless steel knife and swipe it up. Okay, so while those are baking, we're going to try a different technique. And that is the technique where you use a paper napkin. So I have these pretty ones I got at the Dollar Tree, and I thought they were beautiful for the Easter and spring themed time and season. And I'm going to use some more of this. This is the clay I've already rolled out. As you know, it's my Sculpey 3, which everybody hates, but I'm working with because I bought it, so I'm going to use it. I just want to show you a quick update of the coffee cups that I made in the last video. I added some hardware for earrings and a little charm, and my daughter loves them. And so I took the next day to make these last pair of earrings, so I wanted to catch you up on. I baked these earrings that you just saw me make. I added some beads. I hung them. They came out super cute. I put some resin on top of it. And I also, one of the earrings on the second set failed me when I was drilling the hole, so I used that and created a pendant. Now look at these earrings. These drop ones, I added some more beads to the top, kind of like the last pair, and hung those too with some resin on top. So you just use a little UV resin, paint it on there, and put it under the UV light. And then these are some other ones I've been working on, combo of 2 different clay colors that I mixed, and then the foil again. So I haven't assembled those yet, but I will show you the finished product at the end. And then these are little buttons that I made to hang from these like that. So I'll be putting hardware on there, and you're going to see that at the end. And some other things I was just playing around with. I cut out some flowers, added a little yellow center to them, and glazed them too with the resin. Here's the pendant. I had one of those little brackets that you can clip on and then hang a necklace through it. So that's going to be like a little set. And I left the back plain. I did not put the resin on the back, but you definitely could do that. And here's another set that I used. I didn't put the beads on, but this one I did, because everything I add makes it a little longer. So yeah, I thought those came out really cute. They're different. They're not the typical, like, I don't know. I keep seeing the same shape everywhere. So I kind of wanted to do something a little different. And now before we get into the paper technique, I want to show you just these little yellow ones that I made out of the flower cutters. So that was cute. So I'm starting with some white, and this works best on the lighter color polymer clay. So I'm using white, and we're going to do the paper technique, the paper napkin technique. And I'm just going to square it up because it'll be easier to lay my paper onto it and know where the edges are. That's all. It just makes it, I don't know. You don't have to, but I just am weird like that. So I did it. I wanted a pretty pretty rectangle or square shape, something with straight edges as much as possible. Okay, so this works very nicely, and what you have to do is find a paper napkin that you like, okay? Find a pattern. There's so many pretty ones out there. You don't have to spend a fortune. Go to your Dollar Tree, and you're going to separate. Most of the ones at Dollar Tree are 2-ply. This one is a 2-ply napkin. You just have to pull off that one layer real gently and then find the image, keep the image side. Now you're going to face the image down on, I'm cutting it to size so it'll be easier to manage because I don't want that big piece of paper. And you're going to place it image down wherever you want that image to appear onto your clay, okay? Now these, there's different ways. I've seen people use a lot of different products, but really you should be using acetone nail polish remover is, I think, the best. I didn't have that. I was out unknowingly to me, and I was able to do it. Now, I don't know if it made a difference, but I used alcohol, something to wet and kind of like get that image on. So first of all, you're going to kind of like gently push it into the clay. Don't roll it. I used my, just so you know, I'm saving you some time and trial and heartache. Don't use your roller to do this. It kind of will stick to the paper and kind of pull it and move it, and you don't want to do that. So I found this worked best when I just used my hand and pushed into it. Now I've seen people like roll it one more time, and that messed up every time for me. So, I mean, if you have one of those big, like one piece, I don't know, just something flat that can like put even pressure all the way over it, don't do this. Don't do what I'm doing right here. It did not work for me. It pulled the paper up and I got bubbles everywhere and I had to try to re-stretch it out. So that's what I had to do. Okay, so I have it all set up. I'm just pushing it in a little bit longer, and you're going to take your acetone. Hopefully you have acetone nail polish remover, and you're going to dab it. Don't pull it. Don't, just push it down. And as I'm swiping, don't really swiper. Just dab it. I guess I'm trying to push it in a little bit more. I don't know, but you can see it's hopefully melding into your clay. Okay, so I'm going to use these metal polymer clay cutters that I did buy off of Temu as well. And I like the teardrops. And I don't know how I'm going to hang them yet, if I'm going to make like a little button for the top and put a post on the back of it, or if I'm going to just like put a hoop earring or something through it. But it came in this set, and there's 3 different sizes for each shape. I love this set. It was a great deal off of Temu. And here's a little round one. I think I'm going to go with that one. And I have 2 different sizes here. So now the metal ones, they cut a little bit better because you got to cut through this paper when you press down. So you really want to press hard when you're doing this to get your images, to cut all the way through that paper. And I went with this blue area, but you know what? It's kind of light against the white. I wouldn't have done it. If I did that again, I would add more color to it. But here we go. You know, live and learn. I'm just saying. You want to make sure maybe you have some bright colors on the white. But my thought was I would have the flower in one of those teardrops and the butterfly on the other one. So that was my thought. And I'm pressing really hard on here because I want to make sure it gets in there and cuts. So I got them all cut. And when you pull this off, you want to make sure the paper is totally dry on there, but also hold it so when you pull up your, some of the paper may not have cut all the way through, so you want to just hold it in place, or you might have to use a little sharp edge knife and just be very gentle pulling this up. And if I haven't mentioned it, we're pulling up the extra clay and paper that was left out over from when you cut out your pieces. So only your pieces with the paper on it should be left. Okay, so there's the pieces before I place them in the oven, and they all have the paper on them still. And so I'm just going to dab a couple of these a little bit more because I want to make sure that paper's totally flat and stuck to the clay so that the image will transfer in the heat of the oven. So while those are baking, once again, I have a little bit extra here. I'm going to roll it out. I have another shape with, like I showed you, those metal cutters, and how they had 3 different sizes for each one. So I took a larger, like oval type of shape, and one that was just slightly smaller than that. Now I'm going to make some hoop earrings, or what are going to appear like little hoop earrings, by cutting the outer circle and then the inner circle out. And you're going to see that here. And I thought it was a cute idea. One thing I made a mistake of, as I did not push out a tiny little hole for my findings, my earring findings, and hardware. And so when I went to drill that later on, these ended up breaking. They were too fragile, and I should have done all that prior. But I did like the way this would look, and I will be doing this again, but I'll be much more careful. And so these are all things that I've learned as I've gone through these exercises tonight that I'm sharing with you, and these different techniques, because each time you do it, you're going to learn something and you're going to improve upon it. And I feel like I gained a lot of knowledge on playing with this all on Saturday. I did all this on Saturday, and I'm putting this video out, it'll probably be Wednesday. But you can see how the inner loop is out, and that can also become a button at the top, and you can put a post on it and hang it from it. You can see how the image of that napkin is already transferring to the clay, but I can just bunch that up, colorize it, use it later on. Okay, so now my pieces that we just did before, the drop ones, they came out. Actually, they're all out. I can see that now. They're all out. And the drop ones are so pretty. Now, all the paper's still on there. And what you're supposed to do is dunk this in water and rub the paper off. And then you can start seeing the image come off and see what that looks like. I'm not a fan of this. I thought the images looked perfect with the paper on. They got cooked on there. You know, if I wasn't going to cover this with resin, then maybe this is what I would do. And I'm thinking next time I'm going to do this a little bit better, and maybe the image would be a little bit more brighter. But this time when I pulled the paper off, sometimes the image wasn't there. It was very light. I wasn't too thrilled. With the paper on, since I am going to seal it with resin, you can seal over that paper with resin. It will just adhere and seal up, and you're never going to have any peeling. It's all going to be under the resin. And I've worked with paper and resin. It works just fine. People do it on tumblers all the time. But so I'm going to try that next time. I don't think it'll be a problem. And look how bright those colors are with the paper on. I love the images, but I followed what I had been learning and watching, and that was that you soak these, you just dip them in water, not really soak, and you rub off the paper and get it off of there, and then you're going to see the image has been adhered to the clay. And in most cases it was kind of. I did end up wearing and making them, but they came off the hoops, but the hoops eventually cracked anyway, because when I went to drill it just broke, and it was a fail. That was a fail, and those were so stinking cute. But live and learn, and I'm glad I'm not using the good clay for that. So I took off all the paper, and you can see where I actually cracked the hoop up there. So I still have hope here because I'm going to use my UV resin, and you can buy this on Amazon. You can buy this on Temu. I'll try to put some links of some of these products below. Some of it I bought so long ago, but I'm sure I can find some stuff for you. And then this is like a little silicone tool tip, and it helps to spread the resin around. So I just want to bring that resin so it's like level and up to the edge. And that's all I'm doing right here. I just put a little bit on and start spreading around. And I'm hoping that the resin will brighten up some of these colors, but it really didn't on some of them. That light blue flower was disturbing. I mean, it looks rustic, and I do like it, but it's not as bright as I was hoping for. So, you know, it is what it is, and I will learn to get better at this. That's all I can say. It was a fun technique to play around with, and I have so many pretty napkins. I can't even imagine how cute some of these can turn out. Now, with resin, you should be using gloves. I'm not, but you should be. Some people have reactions to it. It is UV, and this is like no odor resin that I'm using. So I will put this on and then pop it under my UV nail light and let it sit in there, and I'll run it for about at least 3 minutes. I just want to make sure it's really cured well. And resin will peel off of anything that's silicone, so that silicone tip that I'm using will get wiped. I use baby wipes. They work fabulous for wiping up extra resin that has dripped elsewhere. The silicone mat that all these earring pieces are sitting on top of, I just let the resin cure under the light, and then I crack it. I just bend that silicone mat into the trash and let the little pieces fall out of it. So resin peels up. It's really easy to get off of silicone, so you don't have to have lots of silicone pieces. They're all reusable. Okay, so here's the final product. I showed you some of these early on, but here's everything all at once. These are the blue with the silver foil pushed into them, and that waffle pattern embossed onto it and then cooked. I hung it with some beads that had the same colors and silver into them. And then I did a couple without the beads because the length gets a little long. But I just wanted you to see close up the different textures. And they all have resin on top of them. Some of those flowers I did. And then the blue and purple that I did, I hung some beads at the bottom. And those little buttons I made, I love that. I'm going to do different things with those little buttons that I poked double holes in. These are really cute. I covered up the hole, but that stamp punches a hole in the middle so you can hang it on a hoop, directly on the hoop. Those little flowers up on top that are broken in half, they broke in half. I sanded them down. I was going to do something else with them, but I think I have only the option of putting a post on. Here are my favorite ones. I'm a little disappointed at how light the flower was. And then these, the top broke off, so I sanded them down. And I liked how bright those colors came out. These are little like posts that I can make. I don't have the post to put on the back yet, but they did come out kind of cute. I like these little purple ones, especially with the mixture of that same blue and purple. And then I put a little yellow in the middle of the smaller flower that I punched out. Those kind of came out really cute. And the yellow ones too. So all in all, it was a great learning experience. Here are the white ones I showed early on in this video. Those are all cooked now. I'm a little leery. I got to put a hole in it and do something, or put a post on the back. The big one could become a pendant, and I feel confident. So those are really thin, and I used a little punch for that, but I think those are just a waste. I don't think they're going to be worth anything. And then I did my little pendant and earring set. So super cute. Lots of knowledge gained, and that's that little stamp. I love that stamp. And then you're going to see the little envelope in the back, which I showed on a previous video. I added a little jump ring to. I don't know, maybe it'll be a little charm to hang from something. So those are my earrings that I made all on Saturday, and experienced a lot of different ups and downs. I think it was a success, even with the fails. I hope I shared some valuable information that you can learn from and maybe save you some of the trial and errors that I experienced on this trip. And I want to thank you all for coming by to watch. Please remember to hit the thumbs up if you like this video and want to see more. Leave me a comment below. I'm thinking the next time I do a video here, it's going to be a full-on resin project. I do like working with resin. You do want to, like, it won't be UV resin. It'll be full-on resin where I have to wear a respirator kind of mask and gloves and all the goodies to protect myself in a well-ventilated area. So I hope to see you soon. Thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do that now, and hit the notify bell so you don't miss out when I do put another video up. Thank you. I'll see you next time.